All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. We're right on the hour. So just maybe take a nice deep breath. Check everyone's. And just let all the stresses of the day just disappear. This next half hour is for you and you only. Well, other sentient beings, but we're focusing on ourselves. So check your feet and your legs. If they're in a cross-legged position, you can have some cushions, a couple of cushions underneath. If they're down on the ground, or even if they're not, if you're just kind of lying with your legs out, make sure they're at least parallel. So don't, for the meditation, try not to cross your legs unless you're sitting in a meditation posture. And the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. You can raise your coccyx or your sit bones with a cushion. How high that cushion is depends on your own level of comfort. And the shoulders are over the hips. And let's just imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. And you imagine someone's above you or behind you, just very gently lengthening your spine. Just imagine some air in between your discs. And the head is slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. And just relax the jaw. And bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the back of the scalp, the ears, and go inside your ear and relax the eardrum. And when you do that, does your jaw relax? Relax the temples, and the back of the neck and the shoulders. And if you can feel the area between your shoulder blades, upper thoracic, see if you can just relax all those muscles around that area. Relax the throat and the chest, the shoulders again, the belly and your limbs and your hands and fingers and feet and toes. And let's bring our mind to the breath. Just a second while I check something. Okay. And just notice the sensation of the cool air as you're breathing in, slightly warmer air as you're breathing out. And let's just bring to mind all the people of our life, all the ones we love, the ones we don't love so much, and our strangers. And they're all the same in their wish to be happy and their wish not to suffer. And they're also all equal, same as us, in having this unbelievable potential within us all for enlightenment, wisdom, compassion. So bringing the mind back to the breath. If there's any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Notice any thoughts that are arising. Try not to engage with them. Keep the people of your life in mind. And think that we're going to do this meditation on Vajrasattva. We'll do this purification in the context of the four opponent powers for all the people of our life, for ourselves, as we move along our path to enlightenment. So just remember, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. So there's nothing you've done that's so awful that you can't pull that particular seed out so it doesn't ripen as negativity in the future for you. So first of the 4 opponent powers is regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all your past lives, perhaps. So think of specific actions of the body and the speech. Maybe did something happen today in any of your encounters with people? Did you say something or do something or forget something, somehow hurt someone's feelings or disturb them in some way, just through maybe being thoughtless or a bit careless? Did you disturb someone? So if that happened and it was end up being harmful for them, you can bring the sense of regret. And the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So in a way, taking responsibility in this way is, I don't know, bizarrely slightly comforting. Taking responsibility is just like growing up. We're not blaming anybody or anything. We're just taking responsibility, feeling a sense of regret. And we want to pull out these negative seeds before they ripen as some future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And we also regret our anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. So who can we turn to? What can I do about it? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. We're healing ourselves by relying upon his methods. So just imagine that Guru Vajrasattva is above the crown of your head, and he's about 2 inches above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher, your Lama, your trusted mentor, someone who might be guiding you at the moment, manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light. So everything about this visualization is light. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, youthful yet ageless, radiant face. And lotus-like eyes, and they're long, they're peaceful, and they're full of love and compassion for you and for all the people of your life. He has no judgment for you, towards you, no critical thoughts, no thinking about all the things you've done wrong. He just accepts you exactly as you are. He's meeting you where you are at right this moment, where you are at today, tonight. So what a relief is that, to have this kind of person in your life. His mouth is sweet, and his hair is held up, black and held up in a top knot. And he's wearing this 5-pointed crown on his head, and he's kind of covered in jewels and ornaments, earrings, necklace, bracelets, sort of ornament around his waist, his ankles, and they're all kind of set with very beautiful, precious jewels, and they're all glittering and shining, also made of light. And he's wearing all these celestial robes of the Royal Indian style, and in the tankas they look like scarves, just silken scarves flowing in the wind, made of light. And he has an aura of light around his head and around his body. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, the right holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and there being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So we can't pull compassion out of thin air. We actually need a subject to help generate compassion in our mind. So in this case, we start by thinking about the people we have harmed. And we develop a wish in our heart for them to not suffer, to not experience suffering, to be free from suffering. And then we think about the people who have harmed us. And particularly, sometimes it's difficult to think like this, we particularly wish for them to not suffer or we feel compassion for them because they are going to necessarily experience suffering because of the harm that they've caused us. So we think that we have strong compassion for them. We strongly feel that we're going to do this practice for their sake and for all the people of our lives. So here we come to the power of remedy, and this is the actual medicine, the doing or the recitation of the Vajrasattva mantra. So first of all, we'll start with the body. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, quite forcefully, like coming out of a hose, or it could be a waterfall pouring down on top of your head. And it from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And just imagine it's just pouring into you through the crown of your head, filling you up until eventually it forces out of all your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, and you feel completely purified as you recite the mantra. So just imagine that as you're reciting the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta mebalwa sawa sidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is the purification of the speech, and Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left, not one atom left. So imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dire Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dire Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta mebalwa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebalwa sutokaya mebalwa supokaya mebalwa Anarakta mebalwa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebalwa sutokaya mebalwa supokaya mebalwa Anarakta mebalwa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebalwa sutokaya mebalwa supokaya mebalwa Anarakta mebalwa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebalwa sutokaya mebalwa supokaya mebalwa Anarakta mebalwa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebalwa sutokaya mebalwa supokaya mebalwa Anarakta mebalwa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the next is the purification of the mind. Excuse me. And Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends light this time, powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around, if you can imagine light arcing around, and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a room and switch on a light. And when you do that, all the darkness disappears, doesn't it? So in this way, as soon as the light from Guru Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart, and instantly all the negative energy of your mind is completely dispelled. All the attachment and neediness and the anger and the violence and the depression and the wishing to harm, anxiety and grasping, resentment, jealousy, all of this kind of rubbish we just cling on to, and then we feel bad that we've got it, but then we go back to it. It's just kind of like poison for our mind. So anyway, just imagine it's all completely dispelled instantly with this light as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. They're gone, finished. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and wisdom, compassion and bliss and kindness. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And you can imagine the previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech and mind and do a couple of mantras for each. Or you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you from Guru Vajrasattva's heart, filling you completely and eradicating even the tiniest, most subtle imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasiti Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasiti Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasiti Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next we come to the power of resolve, and this is such a crucial step. We just make a decision that we are going to try and refrain from harming. I think the way that most of us harm is with our speech. And sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. So maybe think of something, whether it's words or biting your fingernails or accidentally picking up a stylus from a grocery store. Anything that you have a habit to do, that you keep doing, that is causing others suffering and yourself suffering. So we just try and work on it. And, you know, if you have major things that are causing suffering, it's best to sort of start with something that is doable, you know, in terms of the thing itself and also in terms of the amount of time you're refraining from it. So you start small and get some encouragement from your small successes, then it gives you a little bit of courage to go a little bit further. So I think between now and tomorrow, I'm going to work on this thing. 30 seconds at a time, 5 minutes at a time. Something simple. So Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light, just kind of dissolves into you through the crown of your head. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. So next, Lama Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma, there is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So place your mind in that emptiness for a little while, at whatever level you understand emptiness. And think about all phenomena as being empty and not existing from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. Perhaps. Okay. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lama Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the three jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please live long, And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Cherub, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. My goodness, it goes so fast, doesn't it? That half hour goes so quickly. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. Thank you, Priya. Welcome and goodbye.
Thank you.
Lots of love, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow morning, some of you. Okay. Thank you.